You can't be afraid to annoy your friends. Sure, they might get annoyed, but you'll never connect with anybody if you're too afraid to reach out, talk to them, and yes, annoy them. Because as long as you're genuine with people and you truly want to connect with them, even if your annoyance and overbearingness eventually causes them to leave you, just know that there's a million other factors that cause people to leave you, and adding your own 2 cents shouldn't be the breaking point, but oftentimes it is. Baseball. More than any other sport, baseball is the one that has the most turnover and changes from season to season. It's likely that the team you start off with will be completely different and maybe even unrecognizable by the next year. There's a lot of reasons for this. Players don't get along, management and coaching can be bad, cultural clashes, bad luck, but any set of emotionally intelligent adults could work through these things. But then you think about the other things. Contract disputes, salary cap, state tax. It's always about the money. At the end of the day, it's a business. Think Stranger Things. Aside from the main cast, every season has been guaranteed a new set of characters that are usually one and done. Why? Oh, well, not everyone can return, right? People come and go. Well, it's for the story, right? If the characters don't serve the story anymore, then why keep them around? Well, first of all, the writers could always be creative enough to create a story where all the characters play a role. But second, again, as we know by now, it's about the money. Turns out it's business. It's cheaper for Netflix to pay a select few for the long term and not even call back the side roles. Why give everyone a long-term commitment when you can just create a cheap revolving door around the stars?
This is my life.
Now think about your life. Constantly, people come in and out of your daily routine for all kinds of reasons. Friends lose interest in each other, circumstances change, people hurt each other. Again, all things that, best case scenario, any set of aware and mature people could work through. But the reason we can't usually work things out, the reason why people pop in and out of our lives like electrons, really goes back to business. We just drifted apart over time. No, one went out of state for school to find opportunity, the other had to stay home to work, to support their family. People move, drift apart, lose contact for all kinds of reasons. But at the same time, relationships can be started for any reason. Yet, in the American context, we're trained to treat relationships like rosters, like business ventures. We relegate relationships to no contact lists, either because they've abused us and wronged us horribly. We designate our injured ass friends and broke ass friends to like the no contact list as well, because either can't afford the time or the money to be there for them in the way they need us to. People come and go. But behind the personal dramas, the changes, and toxicity that usually end relationships is the business idea that said relationships can just be extended or terminated like a cheap contract. Don't worry that we traded away Andrew McCutcheon for prospects. We can just sign him later for cheap. Don't worry about how you treat your friends now. You can just reacquire them during the seasonal limerence that is the holidays. Don't worry that you were put in a situation where you had to choose between your friends and your partner. Don't worry that you felt lost out on a relationship that you really thought would work out. There's plenty of people on the roster. Plenty of fish in the sea. Treat every action that you take with the people you know as if those consequences will follow you for life. Much of the toxicity in relationships and the betrayal in modern courtship occurs in part because people will use their proximity that they do earn and abuse each other in relationships that they do maintain for the long haul as a form of power. Like a business venture. They can't get what they want from you, then they'll abuse you. Or they'll abuse you to get what they want from you. Is if you do approach relationships, friendships, any kind of bond from an authentic standpoint, and earnestly try to make it work, you may or may not get burned horribly. But if you approach it from a purely business standpoint, apathetic, cold, detached, business is business mindset, you are definitely going to get hurt. Ideally, every bond you form will stick with you for the rest of your life. This seems ridiculous, but keep in mind that most of humanity, before like today, lived in small towns and villages where your opening day roster was your lifetime roster. No trades, no free agency, just a big collective long-term commitment.
I'm so sick of these people. You know.
You weren't going to trade the village idiot for that hot guy in West Ham in the medieval times. Who you got was who you got. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing. But ultimately, you cannot be afraid to pour into people just because you might not get what you want from them or that they're wasting your time. Time is not yours. We're all supposed to be on the same team, the same roster. I know there's abuse and toxicity and betrayal. But if you're lucky enough to do so, don't hesitate to commit to your own roster of friends like they're a collection of superstars. Your goal is not to save your employees money or think business. You are not the general manager of your own life who has sole discretion over who comes in and out of it. And you are not the superstar. You are lucky to be a bench player on an 8 billion person roster. So you're going to have to share a lot of things with people, whether you want to keep them around or not. Your goal is not to build a superstar of people who will help you succeed in life for your goals specifically. It's to live through the mechanisms of bond and friendship and love to live in the first place. There's no payroll in friendship. You are, so you do. There's no championship. You just play. In the modern business lensing in America in regards to friendships and relationships, it's really easy to get hurt because every person you come across is looking at you, much like you were looking at them, as some kind of prospect that you have to figure out. Oh, is this person gonna attain my goals? Are they gonna fulfill me wholly? Are they gonna satisfy me all the time? Are they gonna like annoy me? Are they gonna give me the ick? Long-term love, friends, healthy family, and romance is the most fulfilling of champion. That's cringy.
A winner.
No, real relationships get annoying. You reach out to people, you may annoy them. You learn boundaries. People will push you away if you've overstepped, but you'll never find out if you don't ask, if you don't talk to people. If you don't annoy your friends, you'll never have any. Disclaimer, I am not saying break people's boundaries. I'm saying don't be afraid to reach out to people and then find out you overstepped. Again, respect people's boundaries. Just if anyone has any sense of communication, they'll let you know afterwards. Trust me, I know.